I can't tell you how often I've heard, well, we can't let our employees go out on social media. We can't trust them to do that. Well, why not? You trust them on the phone. They get to have conversations on the phone every day without your supervision. They get to send emails to vendors and suppliers and partners. I guess the question is, if you don't trust your employees, why are they working for you? Why are you hiring people that you don't trust? I'll tell you an interesting story. A friend of mine shared this with me. There was a case study in a business publication about one of these new platforms that came along, new technology. And the employees were really excited about it. And they bugged the boss to allow them to start using this as part of their job. And he relented. He said, well, all right, well, let's put a central kiosk in place where we can observe you using this new technology. So we don't kind of run the risk of media leaks or of insider information being transferred to Wall Street or the like, or you're not wasting your time on it. Well, it turns out that business journal was from the 1930s, and the technology was the telephone. Right? So you think about how far we've come, yet how consistent human nature has remained. And the bottom line is, your employees are probably one of your best assets. And they're the ones that can tell the story more credibly than many people, and that who in turn will be trusted by the public the most, because they are not official spokespeople. They are people like me. So there's a reason that the gap exists. This is an old tweet, probably from 3 years ago, I think. Probably the worst possible tweet from an automaker that you can imagine. And this was done because it was a junior level person at an agency who didn't realize which account he was logged into at the time. Thought this was coming out of his personal account, came out of the corporate account. Unfortunate. It led to his firing and the agency actually being terminated as well. So these things have consequences. And the reason that this gap of trust exists is because people make mistakes, and they make big public mistakes like this. Well, that's almost to be expected when you put somebody with little experience, or who perhaps just knows the platform, well, not in this case, but who just knows Twitter or just knows the social technologies, rather than somebody who has a broader understanding for what's going on in your business and why certain things should be said and not. Because frankly, I don't care whether you're running the corporate account or tasked with running a corporate account or on your own account. People believe what they hear you say. And if you're representing an auto company and you even say this on your private account, that has implications. It seems unfortunate that you get tagged together like that, but that's the reality of the world that we live in today. And just so you know that this kind of thing wasn't just happening 3 years ago, this week we had DiGiorno fall over itself when it tried to brandjack the hashtag Why I Stayed. If you're not familiar with that hashtag, this was part of the discussion that came out of the Ray Rice video. And I don't know if all of you are familiar with that. Ray Rice, formerly of the Baltimore Ravens. The video was released this week that he beat his then fiancée unconscious in an elevator, caught on video. The video was released. And then people started having a discussion about domestic violence. A very noble cause. This is a great point to have a discussion on, but it's not the point for a pizza company to come in and tell you it's a great time to have pizza. Okay, so mistakes will happen, but they will happen when somebody doesn't take the time to understand what's going on in the world around them. Now, if we want to talk about why it's beneficial to have an employee advocacy program, if you want to start putting one together a little more formally, well, there's a number of reasons behind it. The first of all is you've got more support, more arms and legs, more eyes and ears if it ever comes time for a crisis. And quite frankly, you've got more eyes and ears out there as an early warning system to help you out before it even comes to a crisis. We had this happen an awful lot at Ford. People would flag us about something as an early warning system, even before we had a really robust listening system in place. And because we took the time to build relationships with them, and we had relationships with a lot of people, they could actually serve as kind of an inbound warning system. Obviously, this is an opportunity to also talk about how your brand is perceived in the market. You know, how people see you changing or see the results of what it is that you're talking about. And ultimately, how that in turn affects your reputation. And you put all of this together, and people see this kind of stuff going on, and they see what a progressive company looks like, and they end up wanting to work there. So it ends up easing up your recruitment process, or actually refines your recruitment process a little bit in addition. And then what will happen is that you will have employees that over time become more influential. They will become that trusted source of information for your customers. And the best thing you can do is support them in this role, to get out of their way, to give them the tools they need to succeed. And I know when I was at Ford at least, there was a lot of conversation about the personal brand overshadowing the corporate brand. Well, you know what? Unless you're Steve Jobs or Henry Ford, I really don't think there's much danger in that.